Hey everybody, and welcome back to Hex Token channel, Superman Crypto and Pulsechain YouTube. Over 10,500 subscribers. Big thank you for your support. And of course, I guess we're going to end up growing this year in the bull market. So definitely, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. If you love Pulsechain and Hex content virtually every single day, then definitely subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, and join our Discord. Links in the video description. Get in on folks. Who else is here? We got Lies Beneath. Hello, how are you today? Very good, of course. The ultimate strategy, Hex, EHEX, PLS, PLSX, incentive for the win, 100%. And Lies always brings us that golden crypto strategy from Richard Hart, which we're going to talk about later on today during the live stream. It's going to be a lot of fun. J-Pon, hello. Good to see J-Pon. Joey Torres as well. Hi, all. Good to see so many Hex Token channel members in the chat. Very, very cool. We've got Sandy Beach in the house as well, an influence in the health space on the Pulsechain community. Big shout out to you. And I'm sure you must have reached 3,500 followers on X social platform by now. We got Brian in as well in the house there, our community leader. Good to see you, Brian. Welcome to the chat. And who else has jumped in here? Blobfish King says, my majority of my stakes are on Staker app. I hope there will be a solution. Yeah, I guess you can interact with them directly on the contract. It's on the blockchain with the stakes. But other than that, I think they're going to be doing a front end. We're going to talk about that later on. So stay tuned for that, Blobfish King. Big shout out from Sandy Beach to everybody. Woohoo! We got Crypto Dan as well. Yo, what's up? Good to see you, Crypto Dan. Welcome to the chat. Brendan says 2024, the year of the dragon, apparently. Nice one there, Brendan. This is a Pulsechain X live stream. We got Christine Onik in house as well. Happy New Year, Superman and Hexkins. Good to see you, Christine. Welcome to the chat. And what else? We got Sandy Beach says, hey, Wookie and Brian, big shout out from Sandy Beach, part of the family. Sandy Beach says, no, I think someone unfollowed me. Oh, that sad face there for Sandy Beach. If you haven't followed Sandy Beach, then definitely follow Sandy, because only 3 away from 3,500 followers. So definitely smash that. Post your link in the chat there, Sandy, so people can go and follow you. That'd be really, really cool. Give Sandy a follow. She only needs 3 more people to get to 3,500. Seems like a good thing. And if you love health and fitness in the Pulsechain community, definitely join and follow that. She gives some inspirational posts all the time. Big love out to Superman from DG and Hexagon. Hey, DG and Hexagon, big shout out to you. Hope you're doing well out there. Appreciate the sentiment as well. We got Woody at 10K. Hi, Superman. Good to see you, Woody. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you. Definitely a pleasure to see some new faces around. Who else has jumped in here? I think that was it. All I was going to get up to. Let's get into it. There is the link for Sandy Beach. Definitely give Sandy Beach a follow. Now, Hex Token channel is pretty close to Sandy Beach. I think it was like 10 to 12 behind Sandy. So there we go. That's it. We're going to try and catch Sandy up there and a bit of fun. But of course, Sandy's crushing it out there. Awesome stuff. Definitely give Sandy a follow. All right. What else are we going to do? Let's get into the news. We've got so much stuff. We're going to get it to stock market, crypto. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of the news around what's happening there. We're going to get into Richard Hart and Pulsechain, of course, the mainstay of this channel, and our coverage here on the live streams. And then we're going to jump into some cool stuff about Staker app, about solutions going forward. And, of course, we're also going to get into a couple of other administrative things as well. So it's a lot of stuff in store today. Let's get straight into it. Bam. Where are we going here? We've got to share the screen. That's probably what we've got to do. Share the screen. Let's go. And boom. All right. So the stock market there. Let's get into it. So the stock market today, pretty quiet on this front. Dow Jones down for the second day in the new year. Down 0.75%, 285 points to 37,430. Remember, the Dow Jones is the top 30 industrial firms in the United States. The S&P 500 is down 0.8%, 38 points to 4,704 after hitting that big target last year, pretty close to 4,750. And that was Tom Lee's Fund Strat Manager's target. And man, he bet the rest of the pack. They were way off the target. So that was pretty cool. NASDAQ with all the tech companies in it down 1.2%, 173 points down to 14,592 on the NASDAQ. Basically risk off, right? Risk off, the biggest thing. And the volatility index went up 6%, and the US dollar gained strength as well. It is the reserve currency of the world still, despite attempts to try and depeg it. At the moment, it is up slightly, 0.25% to 102.16. And we've got the commodities there. Let's have a look at those. Just wait for it to refresh there. We've got West Texas at $73 and Brent oil at $78.45. They're pretty much flat today from the looks of it. And gold there, which has reached a recent all-time high of about $2,150, is down about $100 there at $20.50. Pretty much flat today as well. Silver is pretty much flat, and that is at $23.22. So those are the commodities. Let's get into the Federal Reserve news. Obviously, we had the minutes come out from the previous meeting, and of course, the last meeting was in December, if you remember. Now, obviously, the markets are reacting a little bit shy to this news. Well, the Fed is widely expected to keep rates on hold in January. Remember, it's the 31st of this month, coming up the end of the month there, the first meeting of the year for the Federal Reserve. Traders have priced in a 67% chance of a 25 basis point rate cut in March. Are they too early? Is the market too early? I still feel like May is the play, but we'll see. I think the market's probably overheating that, but we'll see. The Fed minutes released on Wednesday offered new insight, with policymakers appearing increasingly convinced that inflation was coming under control. This is really what's probably spurring some of this stuff too. It reinforces that about a March pivot versus a May pivot. With the upside risks diminished and growing concern that overly restrictive monetary policy might do the economy. What does that mean? Well, high interest rates at 5.5% plus restrictive monetary supply, reducing monetary supply. And of course, we want both of those tools to go to expansionary. We want to pivot in the interest rates, pull it down, and we want more money printed. And of course, that will help fuel our bull run into the US election there at the end of the year. So let's see how we go there. Little light was shed on the rate cuts might commence though. So timing was the key. Not really a lot of signal there from the Federal Reserve. The market wanted to hear when and how much the Fed was going to drop rates, and that they didn't get that. Now, I don't think they're generally going to get that anyway. Even if it's not the Fed's job to do that, absolutely, I agree with that. What we're seeing playing out in today's selling, maybe a little bit of frustration with the perceived lack of transparency of the Fed, and probably some profit takings from last year, right? That's kind of the play there to set us up for the next year ahead. So that is pretty much where we are with the Federal Reserve. And of course, that is ticking away there. If we go to the Fed rate monitor, we can see the latest updates there. 3 weeks and 6 days and 19 hours to go until the Fed meeting on the 31st of January, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And we can see that we're going to get most of the market, 90% of the market, expecting a no change on interest rates there. It's not until we get to March where we start seeing the market thinking a pivot's going to happen. That is reduced actually. We're about 69% of people, maybe or close to 3%, close to 70% of people think we're going to get an interest rate pivot down to 5.25% or lower. But really, I think May is still going to be the one at the moment that's maybe more likely, and that is the vast majority of the market. It's 96.7% is expecting a pivot by May, and I think that's a better mark at this stage to take on. Right, which would be a month after the Bitcoin halving, right, in April. So that's kind of the bullish thing there. Let's jump over to crypto, though. Crypto had a big retrace, I guess a retrace, or some people call it crash. Some people call it a correction. I mean, whatever you want to use there. ETH definitely had a pullback there dramatically. And, of course, following the stock market, too. So we had ETH there at down 6.5% at the moment at $2,214. And we got Bitcoin there at 42,916, down 4.77% at the moment. Bitcoin dominance is at 50.2%. That's where we are there. But BNB, that is up 1.22% at $316. So not too bad there. Solana, which had been performing pretty well with the VC capital and some of the hype around that, is down 7.7%, back down below $100. Pretty much everything is down. ICP is up. ICP seems to be the latest fad that people were after. It's up 2%, $14.42 at the moment. So that's kind of where we are with the markets. Everything's pretty much down. Matic's down quite severely there, 12% at 85 cents. I'm just looking through some of these. Those are some of the ones we're looking at there at the moment. So they're down. BSV also had a big late pump. Remember, pump from like $50 to 125. That's down 12% at $86. So BSV down there too. Good old Satoshi. All right, so let's jump over to the Bitcoin chart here. And this is the Bitcoin chart. It was on the hourly on Coinbase. And look at that pullback we had, dramatic, right? Wow, that was huge. We got way down to $40,625. We started off up here at around about 45,400. We went down 5,000 US dollars inside a few hours there. What's that, 2 hours? We went down 5,000 US dollars. What a pullback that was. Pretty severe in that time zone. We're back up to 42,777. But it still looks weak to me. This still looks pretty weak at the moment. So that's where we are. Let's go to the 4 hourly on the old Bitcoin. And the 4 hourly there, we're still, well below the moving average there. We pretty much kind of bounced off the 200 EMA for the 4 hourly. We did pierce through it, but we have kind of bounced it on the second time. We're currently at 42,767 at the moment. Let's go to the daily, though, on the old Bitcoin. And we can see that we're getting very close indeed to the window, the BTC at window number 2 for the ETF approval, right? So that's kind of where we are at the moment. We're only a few days away from that. So about 6 days or so away from that approval. And it may come early, possibly could come earlier on Monday. Now, there is some dissenting views on the approval. Remember, we've had the approval probability at probably about 90%. That was based on analysts like Steffart and others there. But we have got some dissenting voices. Sometimes dissenting voices may or may not be in the know. I kind of feel like this dissenting voice, I should say, is not in the know. And that is a Bitcoin spot ETF proposals to be rejected by the SEC. This is from Matrix Port. SEC Chair Gensler is not embracing crypto in the US, and it might even be a long shot to expect that he would vote to approve Bitcoin spot ETFs, says Matrix Port. So a very different view from this report. Crypto investment services provider Matrix Port expects the SEC to reject all applicants to list a spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund this month. It kind of comes at odds, though, doesn't it? Because they kind of lined up all the ETFs for a potential approval this month. So it would be a bit weird them doing that in practice. So, it's not out of the ballpark. The current 5-person voting commissioner's leadership critical for the ETF approval of the SEC is dominated by Democrats. Woo! SEC Chair Gensler is not embracing crypto in the US, and it might even be a very long shot to expect that he would vote to approve Bitcoin spot ETFs. So that's kind of the position there. An ETF would certainly enable crypto overall to take off. And based on Gensler's comments in December 2023, he still sees this industry in need of more stringent compliance. Of course, he's going to be very combatant against the crypto, especially CeFi. From a political perspective, there's no reason to approve a Bitcoin spot ETF that would legitimize Bitcoin as an out of store of value. But now, of course, we've got their best friends, right? The globalist firms like BlackRock coming in. So we've got the lineup of the ETFs, and we've got BlackRock and groups like that coming in. These are all part of the globalist movement. And, of course, they're coming in. And so this goes against this kind of narrative here. Maybe the way they'll do it is that they approve it and then they go to buy it out and control it. That kind of seems a far more logical narrative there, and use it as gold 2.0, as a lot of people say. The widely anticipated approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF in the US helped drive Bitcoin prices to not seen since April 2022, as it closed 2023 up nearly 160%. Matrix Port estimates that the extra 14 billion of fiat and leverage deployed into crypto since September, 10 billion might be related to ETF expectations. So a big amount of it. So it's almost 70%, 80%. Bitcoin is currently down nearly 70% on the day. The entirely of the decline coming in the space in a few minutes. Galaxy digital head of research Alex Thorne. So this is a challenge to this report. Took serious issue with the Matrix Port report, calling it bewildering and nonsensical. And of course, they should know. Galaxy is one of the Bitcoin ETFs. They should know the process, have a good idea of where it might be heading. Galaxy, in partnership with Invesco, is among more than a dozen firms who have applications with the SEC for a spot Bitcoin ETF. Alex Thorne here on X social platform. Bewildering note from Matrix Port. Several of their supporting arguments are nonsensical. 3 of their most confusing and questionable claims that the bull run was kicked off by Franklin Templeton's September ETF filing, they write. And of course, there is more. So let's quickly check that out. There is now more than one big traditional finance asset manager applying for an ETF. No mention of the fact that Invesco, WisdomTree, VanEck, Vitality, and ARK had already filed and all have more ETF AUM, that's assets under management, than Franklin Templeton. In fact, Franklin Templeton is just 25 on the list of top ETF issuers by asset under management. Also, last fall's bull run was not set off by the filing in September. The run really started after the fast Cointelegraph tweet and then the gamma squeeze in the mid-late October. That all ETF applications still lack a critical requirement. Here they are apparently referring to the fact that the issuers all have surveillance sharing agreements with Coinbase, but Coinbase is only 11% of the spot market. Apparently, they missed the DC Circuit Court of Appeals ruling that negated this question, which first of all said that surveilling futures market was sufficient because futures and spot prices were mathematically indistinguishable, I should say. Other commodity ETFs also surveilled futures. Matrix Sport also says that the SEC is suing Coinbase, that they are a bad choice. Future ETF applications should also include, they write, Kraken, OKX, Bybit. The SEC is also suing Kraken, and the idea that these would be good, but for the omission of OKX and Bybit is strange. That the SEC commissioners would vote to reject even if the staff recommends. Why would something suddenly start working or being approved if it hasn't worked for 10 years? I won't speculate about individual commissioners, but there's not a real argument here. We all know why, because the market has meaningfully changed. The issuers are serious and seasoned. The market infrastructure has matured significantly, and the courts have weighed in. It's impossible to know the future, and certainly anything could happen. But this prediction from Matrix Sport is a real hard head scratcher, and I probably agree with a lot of that, as I talked about. So that is pretty much it with the Bitcoin. So we're getting close, folks. 6 days away. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see where we go from here. On a positive note, of course, is that BlackRock is expected to seed their ETF, the exchange-traded fund, with $10 million worth of Bitcoin. BlackRock is reportedly planning to acquire $10 million worth of Bitcoin as initial funding for its potential spot Bitcoin ETF, still currently under review, of course, by the SEC. So this is positive news for the market. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager and one of the front runners in the race to issue first spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds in the United States, is expected to purchase $10 million worth of Bitcoin on January 3rd, according to analysts. On December 23rd, market researchers James Steffert posted on X, hiding the BlackRock's intentions to seed its ETF with the Bitcoin it plans to purchase. So a bit of evidence there from James Steffert and Eric Balkahunas. Those are the two top analysts we've been following on this topic. So that's some of the evidence there. You can sort of see the source material. Steffert followed up by a post saying the document that mentions the BTC purchase is not final, however, approved or effective, though the purchase would jive with our January approval prediction. He said that an injection of capital wouldn't necessarily mean the launch of ETF, but that BlackRock could be expecting a release shortly after. According to Steffert, the conclusion of the January 3rd date is just teasing, though. Just take that into account, and he drew the parallel to the date being that of the Genesis block of Bitcoin. A user on X asked Steffert if 10 million is the seed size he would expect, to which Steffert responded that is fairly standard, but is also subject to change. In the late December, Eric Balkahunas, a Bloomberg analyst, also posted about the anticipated purchase on January 3rd, saying the BlackRock's 10 million BTC purchase would be a pretty big jump from its initial 100,000 seed funding back in October. But of course, you're talking about the biggest fund manager in the world, right? So here we go. Balkahunas also posted about Bitwise Form S1 being filed, and Bitwise intending to seed its pending spot Bitcoin ETF for $200 million. And that's a bit more like it, right? Which Balkahunas says blows away BlackRock plans to purchase. That's going to be a huge help in the early days of the race. No AP name, but probably forthcoming. While January 3rd has been predicted as the day BlackRock's purchase its seed funding, there have also been multiple alternative reports stating the date has been pushed back to January 5th. Looks like the case. Cointelegraph reached out to BlackRock for further comment, however, no response, of course. The SEC, of course, set the deadline for amendments to spot Bitcoin ETF applications for December 29th, 2023, with BlackRock, VanEck, and Valkyrie in the last amendments. The SEC's decision, of course, is pending, anticipating for the January the 10th, but possibly we could even get it as early as the 8th of January. That is pretty much it, the news on the old Bitcoin ETF. Moving to Ethereum, we've got Ethereum at 2,200 at the moment. Also pulled back dramatically in a space of a couple hours. Pretty much went from $2,380 after having a nice little pre-rise up here to $2,432 on the hourly. And, of course, went down pretty fast as well. Got all the way down to 2,100. So it's quite a move down there at the moment. So quite a move. And let's have a quick look at where that was at. That was pretty much down almost 12% in a matter of, 3 hours. pretty much down 21% there, but has bounced back somewhat to 2200 at the moment. So that's kind of where we are on the hourly. Let's move into the 4 hourly on the old Ethereum. 4 hourly there, we're below the 200 EMA on the 4 hourly. That's even weaker than the Bitcoin. At least that was above. Let's go to the daily. Have a look at that on the daily now. That is the daily candle. So we were actually holding pretty good support along the daily 20 EMA moving average here, and we broke through that, but we have bounced back up. Let's see where we go from here. We do have some support here at $928 on the 200 moving average here. And of course, we have had our golden cross way back here as well. That's pretty much played out. So like Bitcoin, it will probably ride on the back of Bitcoin there, but lagged. But that's where we are at the moment. 2200, which is still not too bad. We still haven't broken out into altcoin season though. And of course, a lot of people are talking about potentially, buying the rumor, sell the news. So that typically happens. We saw it in gold. When gold's ETF was approved, the market retraced about 50% after the gold ETF. Of course, there are a few differences. Gold had a lot wider acceptance at the time, but a lot of people don't have access to Bitcoin. So there is a few differences there. And of course, the amount of capital that could be allocated into Bitcoin could be quite large, and of course, ramp up over a number of years as more wider acceptance and risk taking moves into Bitcoin. Maybe if it gets up to, say, the $10 trillion market cap of gold, we could see Bitcoin at the very least at around $400,000 US. Of course, many people calling it much higher than that, even up to $1 million plus on that. So we'll see where we go at the moment on Ethereum. And of course, Ethereum ETF expected potentially in May. So we'll see how we go with that as well. And of course, that's a month after the Bitcoin halving. So we've got the perfect lineup, right? January, BTC ETF. We got potentially April Bitcoin halving, May Ethereum ETFs, May potentially, or even March. The interest rate pivot really is pretty good lineup there. But Ethereum has more to offer. Not only is it just waiting to ride the tails of an ETF, but it's also got, of course, the upgrades to Ethereum. And of course, this is good news for Pulsechain potentially as well. We'll see how that plays out in the future. But potentially, it could have maybe a scenario where it is positive. The latest Ethereum all-core developers meeting finally puts some tentative dates on the upgrade schedule for the next mainnet hard fork for Ethereum. That is Dinkin there. With the caveat that it's only if no major issues arise. Ethereum devs are eyeing the following dates, of course, for forking Ethereum public testnets. Go early is going to be the January 17th. That's going to get forked with Dinkin there. Sepilia is going to be January the 30th, and Halensky there, February the 7th. So still quite a bit of testing to be done on the old Ethereum upgrade. The next one. This will be the last time that Gorilla is included in the testing regime as well. So it's worth noting, as the network is slated for deprecation, so say goodbye. They are also discussed what comes next, and as yet an unnicknamed Prague Electra upgrade. The Ethereum community is considering whether to focus on a large core feature, which could take a year of work, or structure the upgrade around multiple small improvements, which could be feasible for late 2024. So it's quite a while away, right? There's a lot of things still a long way away. So don't feel any under threat or anything so soon. A decision will come in the new year, but for now, here are some of the improvements to watch for 2024 in the wake of Deacon. And of course, EIP 4844 is the big one. Proto-dank sharding, such a big, wordy sort of phrase. This is the big kahuna amongst Deacon's EIPs, which were the focus of many news stories in 2023, of course. The upgrade will reduce the cost of data availability across all layer 2s. That's why we've seen some recent pumping with Optimism and Atrium and things like that, because the market is anticipating extra value, speculative value, but extra value there based on these upgrades for Ethereum. So Starkware's co-founder, Eli, told Blockworks, so that's something that Starknet is very much anticipating so that users can have lower costs. So particularly benefiting those second layer protocols. Maybe something to think about in your diversification portfolio for the bull market ahead is these second layer protocols. Obviously, we've already seen opening gambit. Obviously, if the market pulls back, you want to take a bit of opportunity to pick it up on a pullback, not on after it's already moved too strongly. Just take that into account. Can be a little tricky getting that right, but nevertheless, we've had this opportunity today. It's at the forefront of what Lucas Henning, the Chief Technology Officer of Web3 wallet developer Suku, calls a year of groundbreaking improvements for Ethereum. So this is super bullish for Ethereum, right? EIP 84844 is a transformational enhancement that will slash rollups gas fees by up to 100x. So 100 times there, it's a pretty big deal. So pretty cool on that one. So that is kind of the key one we're looking at. There are other updates. We're not going to go through all that on this list. EIP 1153. There's others there. EIP 4788. Beacon block root commits and a lot of the more technical stuff. EIP 5656 in copy code. There's other ones there. Self-destruct, of course, EIP 6780. Those are some of the other ones that are on the schedule for this year. But really, the proto-dank sharding is the one that we're really watching now. And, of course, that's the way we play. What leads us into Pulsechain. Of course, the full first system state copy of Ethereum. Also potentially upgradable with all these upgrades too. We'll see whether any of them get applied, but that's kind of the play at the moment. That leads us on into Richard Hart, and we're going to get into that too, which is pretty cool. So I hope you like that pretty comprehensive update on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's get into the chat and see who else has jumped in here. I think we got up to there for sure. We got Clinchons in the house there. G'day, Hex Token crew. Hey, good to see you, Clinchons. Welcome to the chat. Who else has jumped in here? Yeah, if you haven't joined a strategy club, join up today. It's multi-chain, and we're looking for the best protocols, and everyone is crushing it in there with great value. You want to get the edge, it's the place to be. We have been crushing in there well ahead of anybody we can see out there at the moment on some of these projects that we are looking at. Fast Abdul says, did we win yet? One more day, or 2 more weeks, as we say. Matt and Bali's in the house there. Howdy all. Good to see you, Matt. Welcome to the chat as well. Good to see you. I'm not sure if you're still on holiday in Australia or you're in Bali at the moment. Let us know. This was one as well. Hey, Superman, Hexkins. Good to see Hex was one. Welcome to chat too. Tom Boss as well. Yeah, that Matrix report is just an opinion. Just got lots of hype and FUD to crash the market. Yeah, I far more listen to the people actually doing the ETF applications because they go have the meetings with the SEC, right? They have these meetings and they should have a much better feel for what's actually happening rather than some third party that's writing an opinion piece based on pseudo evidence or whatever you want to call it. So I absolutely agree with that. Sandy Beach says, I'm surprised they don't already have BTC. Well, they probably do, Sandy Beach, but a different arm, different part of the ecosystem, different part of the financial hub there for BlackRock or whatever else. Brennan says they do, Sandy, just manipulating news. Yeah, absolutely, Brennan. Yeah. Archie says, hi all, time to set up some. All right, so yeah, well, let's keep this to Pulsechain, everybody. All right, what else we got going? We got Bob Wells in the house there. Hey, everybody, happy 2024 to all of you. Hey, good to see you, Bob. Welcome to the chat as well. Who else has jumped in here? I think we're almost up to that with Pumpkin Al in the house there. Howdy, Pumpkin Al. Good to see you too. And also got Little Beers. Is that Little Beers, Sandy? Look like little bakery beers or something like that. All right, let's get on to Richard Hart. And of course, we got a bit of update here. Actually, before we go to Richard Hart, let's I've got a little video to play. We got to play the little video. Let me do that first. We got a little video from, I was supposed to play this yesterday, but I forgot. And this is Jim Cramer. If you guys know Jim Cramer, man, he gets it wrong so many times about crypto. But let's pay him before we get into the Richard Hart stuff, because Richard Hart would love this too. So let's get into it.
Yeah, but I do think that the people who are in it for that are going to use that as a chance to sell. This thing is, you can't kill it.
Ooh, can't.
And the late Charlie Munger, who was so brilliant on so many things, was blind to this. Now you can say, wait a second, maybe it's all going to come
Jamie
unravel.
Dimon has not spared any negative words.
No, but look, I mean, it's a reality and it's a technological marvel, and I think people have to start recognizing that it's here to stay. The SEC's been against it almost the whole time.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that every one of these is here to stay, but I do think that this is a remarkable comeback that was unexpected, except for all the bulls who turned out to be right.
Gensler does a lot of jawboning.
Didn't work.
All right, so these guys are cringeworthy, right? These guys living in the old TradeFi world, like Munger was as well, like Jamie Dimon. And, of course, they say one thing and they do another as well, right? So it's a lot of manipulation from these guys. But anyway, they're wrong again, and that's because, they're old school and they get stuck in the matrix there. All right, so let's move on. We got Richard Hart. of course, posting some really cool updates. Hey, this is a very positive sign. Richard's been increasing his posts last month. He's been really increasing it in the new year. This is a positive sign, folks. I hope you guys can take the lead from this because it's really cool to see this stuff from Richard. And of course, Pulsechain is a miracle, he says. Cheaper fees by thousands of fold and good on-chain liquidity. Higher throughput and lower latency than Ethereum. Currently zero bridge fee, of course, on the bridge, which you should take advantage of, especially with the low gas fees on Ethereum at the moment. World's largest free airdrop. You can actually afford to come and play around with your free coins. And of course, he's posted a whole ton of the blockchains at the moment. So even though Ethereum is relatively cheap at the moment, it's because of the holiday period. Ethereum there is still 5,669 times more expensive than Pulsechain. So these are some of the numbers that he's highlighting here. Bitcoin, of course, 21,600 at the time of writing, and so on. You can see all the other chains also generally way more expensive, maybe with the exception of Polygon and a few of these other blockchains at the bottom here. That's all sourced, of course, from gopulse.com, which we use every day to cover Pulsechain anyway. So that's kind of cool. He's had 92,000 views on that so far, but he's also been posting a bit more out as well. And this is a very positive sign. So we're going to talk about this moving forward. Richard Hart here says, Ethereum, you're paying $100 to do a swap. Now, you can imagine when the bull market is full on, right? So maybe we get a pullback on the Bitcoin news or the ETF. Let's say we get positive news with that 9% chance of positive news, and we get buy the rumor, sell the news event, right? We do get that, then then that's going to be a bit longer till we have that next rise and the next rise, etc. In terms of the bull market, we've got the Bitcoin halving in April, etc. So we've got a lot of events coming up, as I said earlier. But nevertheless, when Ethereum gets into full-on bull mode, the gas fees are going to be insane, right? Swapping fees are going to be insane, and so yeah, I think this is kind of cool. Richard's trying to head people's, let people know, get on the Pulsechain. It's a place to do business, and of course, the full system stay copy, and people have the airdrop and everything else as well. Do you hate money? Says Richard. Do you hate money? Indeed. So I think that's really, really cool to see some of this stuff here from Richard. Very good sign. From multiple fronts there from Richard. So that is pretty cool. He's had 45,000 views on that so far, which is kind of neat. Now, I've got a little video here. This is one that KDP posted, and I thought this is quite kind of apt here. So let's play this quickly on this. Before we get into all the charts, this is kind of a link, a refresh. It's sort of a flashback to the past, but maybe this is with all these posts on X social platform from Richard, and of course, us leading into the bull market now. Maybe this is a little bit of insight into if those who believe and those who are faithful to the ecosystem, maybe this event might actually happen here. So you read between the lines, but here we go. Let's get into it.
In theory, if someone were a billionaire and they had like all this money, why wouldn't they just buy more of the thing they liked instead of dumping the thing they liked? Like if Bezos bought shares in Amazon, would you be pissed off? If Apple does a stock buyback and they buy more of their own shares in their company back from the public, which is a way to turn earnings into yield for the shareholders, do you get mad and yell at Apple? And so we had to come up with a word for this fan fiction fantasy, which is the opposite of a rug pull, called a magic carpet ride. And so if you're worried about risk of a rug pull, what weighted value have you given the risk of a magic carpet ride? And it's just hilarious to me.
So let's see what happens in the future. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk on X social platform about influencers capitulating, popular members in the community capitulating, all sorts of stuff happening. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the bull market ahead. Yeah, don't count out the billionaires and the magic carpet ride. A wink, wink, a nod, nod. It could be a fun time ahead. All right, so I thought that was pretty cool to lead into the Pulsechain stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed some of that. We've got a few other comments in here, though, from people talking about Jim Cramer as a sell signal. Yeah, he definitely answers sell signal. Typical Cramer and a code lame, says Pumpkin Out. Absolutely. They are so cringe on those shows. Yep, I swear, Cramer is always wrong, like for years. That is from Sandy there. Do the opposite of what he says. Absolutely. What else we got there? Excavator announced that. Hey, gang, good to see you, Excavator. Big shout out. And we got property review as well. Good coverage today. I appreciate that property review. Welcome to the channel. Nice one. All right, let's move on from that and lead into Pulsechain. Now, Pulsechain, this is day 236 results. We're going to go through it quite fast. We're at quadruple 0588. down 4.1%. So basically pull back with the market, and we're at 0.59% of sacrifice price for Pulse. Pulsex at the moment, quadruple 0161, down 4.24% as well, just slightly more than Pulsechain. We're at 16% of the sacrifice price. That's the mean sacrifice price, of course. And that is where we are at the moment. The buy and burn, though, continues to tick on. We're at 630 billion, 670 million Pulsex has now been bought up and burned. And of course, that is 3.07% of the public supply. So we're slowly creeping up there. Here, our next target, of course, is 4%. So we're slowly creeping up there. The incentive ratio token at the moment is at 52 cents, down almost 6%. The ratio, though, is just under 9,000 pulse per one incentive. We've got well over 20 million incentive tokens and 117,000 burned through the TRH protocol from Jacob's ecosystem. Hex at the moment is at 0.00876, so 80, let's say just under 88 hundredths of a penny. And of course, EHEX is at 4700 of a penny. The combined price of EHEX and PX is at 1.34 cents. PHEX is down 4.15%, pretty similar to Pulsechain at the moment. So not a lot happening there. Now, the interesting thing about Hex, we're going to talk about on PHEX because something happened yesterday. We're going to talk about that. So let's get into it. At the moment, of course, we still managed to, we got a bullish cross here on the EMA cross. That is almost closed out, however, obviously moving around the market as well. We had a big red candle yesterday, pull back with a low of 6,200 on Pulse, which is currently, we're below that moment at 5,756. Even though we broke this down, definitely testing again. So I guess might want to pull this down to about there, and maybe we'll go retest this before going up and to the right. How about that? The other thing is we haven't had another cross a bearish signal here yet. So it hasn't quite closed to make another X there as another signal. Now, obviously, this didn't quite play out as we might have hoped, but definitely a lot of the times they do. Sometimes they fake out. In this case, we had two bullish moves. In fact, we had just about every TA indicator was bullish, at least on Hex, but on this one. Now, the RSI has really cooled off at 45 here, so just keep a lookout. A good time to accumulate. Of course, when you see the market do this retrace, you can pick up more pulse for when it does decide to really make a move. So maybe Magic Cup ride just a bit later on in the year. We'll see how we go there. Maybe the Bitcoin halving, we will see. All right, so we've got Pulsex at the moment is at similar story. And of course, the Bollinger Bands are tightening as well. So this is another indicator. Maybe if this tightens even closer, the top of these two blue lines there, we might get a break to one side or the other. Obviously, we had our bullish cross over here on the EMA cross, and that looks like it's hasn't quite closed off yet, but definitely getting close to doing that. The RSI is pretty chill at 45, so we've got room to move once we do there. In fact, Pulsex has still got a lot of bullishness ahead of it. Power City Earn protocol could be coming out very, very soon. And of course, that's going to collateralize Pulsex and take it off the market, and of course, issue a new stablecoin, the third native stablecoin, Pulsechain PXDC, which will probably give a run for its money. Oh, look at that. We just printed the cross. We just printed the cross live here on Hex Token. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? So you guys saw that just get printed as we just talked about. The price just went down and we just hit the cross there. So that means that that potential bullish move is over for the time being. But hey, look, we'll see how we go in the next couple of days leading up to the Bitcoin ETF there. We may have a double fake out, right? Double fake out where it closes out the bullish move, gets the bearish move. The bearish move is a fake out as well. And we move up to a bullish move. So we'll keep watching that. We still have higher lows here in December. So from where we were back in October and September. So what we'll see here, we head up at the moment. We've kind of got a big wedge in some ways forming there. So we'll see how we get on. Incentive token at the moment is at just under 9,000 on the ratio for one incentive token to Pulse. So 9,000 Pulse for one incentive token. We're going to have a quick look at Pulsex. We now do this randomly every so often just to look at see how the yields are performing. We are on day 236, as I said, didn't I? So day 236, we're finishing that up. These are the yields for day 236. We've got Pulse X and Pulse at 5.8%. We've got all the Bridgeton stable coins, DAI, USDC, USD Tether versus Pulse. Let me just refresh this to make sure it's going to show what's showing. Let's see how we go there. Yeah, it is at 37% for DAI, 38.5% for USDC, and 36.8% for USD Tether. Still extremely good yields for stable coins, so not bad there. And we've got Ethereum there at 22%. Looking at Hex Pulse there at 9%, and the two incentive token pools or farms there is versus Pulse and Pulsex is 38% and 32% respectively for those yields. So not too bad at the moment for the farming. Obviously, you can also go to the info tab and also provide liquidity on V2. And of course, there can be some pretty nice looking LP rewards if you're into some of those pools, particularly ones with good volume as well in there. So something to think about. So that is pretty much it on there. Let's go to the PHEX. Now, PHEX is the thing that we had a bit of excitement yesterday, but nevertheless, despite the excitement, the market sold down on it, which is pretty interesting. We had a we had the bullish cross. Now we've had a bearish cross here. And of course, we'll see whether this ends up being a bit of a fake. It has been quite aggressive down to the low side. And we're now at 85/100th of a penny. Now, yesterday we had a big whale coming in. It was buying up Hex yesterday, which was pretty interesting. You can see some of the buys. I think it was actually, where was it on the hourly here? What was I looking at? I think I think it was in here that we saw the buys. And a big whale was coming in and buying stuff, and it's been buying stuff over 17 hours. Now, this is not the first time this whale account had been buying Hex. PHEX there had been buying on many other occasions using other wallets. So there is a big buyer buying PHEX at the moment, despite the fact that it got pushed down by other sellers, right? This is the way it goes. But at the moment, we're down 5.7%. Interesting behavior from this whale. Quite a very large, well-funded whale. And of course, we're talking about millions of dollars. And of course, they seem to be accumulating on several days with several different wallets. And I don't think that's going to be abating. They still had a lot of reserves, and you just don't know where their source accounts are. So that's the other thing. So interesting stuff. Never count PHEX down, right? Never count PHEX down when you got these whales with millions of dollars on multiple accounts doing some pretty interesting ways of covering their tracks as well. It took a bit of a while to follow them all through. But they're doing small bridging amounts. They break down their big money into small bridging amounts, and then they start accumulating in small amounts as well. So trying to cover their tracks, as it were. So pretty interesting stuff going on there. Can't count PHEX down, the magic carpet ride. Let's see what happens this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, of course, being able to pick up Hex at the moment at 85/100th of a penny just seems like an amazing opportunity. We've got EHEX as well at the moment, down at 46/100th of a penny. That's on the daily. That's pretty much it at the moment on EHEX there. Looking at the combined price of EHEX and PHEX, obviously we're down at 1.324 cents at the moment on the combined price, with our recent high back in October there, 25th, at 2.9, almost 3 cents there. So we're quite a bit down from that at the moment. Can we do the measure? I think we can. So we're down 54% from that peak that we had back then. So that is PHEX and EHEX. Let's just quickly get into the validators. I don't want to get too much on this. We're at 50,400 validators. Now, don't forget that you can do validating by NFTs now through David Feder. So definitely check out that. Seems to be pretty popular. A lot of people getting those NFTs for validating Pulse, earning nice little passive income. 1.61 trillion off the market. That's about 10%. So very, very cool results. Looking at the gas prices, as Richard was posting on his account, looks like we've got beats around 154,000 at the moment. 0.3 of a penny for a Pulsechain swap, 200th of a penny for a Pulsechain transfer, and 600th of a penny for a PRC20 transfer. And now we have all these other comparisons to other blockchains that GoPulse has put on there, as Richard was pointing out. And currently we're at 7,500 times cheaper than Ethereum. $24 almost to do a swap on Ethereum at the moment, and 27,400 times cheaper than Bitcoin. $5 to send Bitcoin. And of course, you never know what year you're going to get your Bitcoin in your wallet. Just joking, but it does take a long time. So that's pretty much it. And look at that. We're pretty much dominating virtually all these other main blockchains here. All right. So that is for day 236. We're going to start day 237 on Pulsechain. Let's move on, though. And let's get into some of the other categories. We're going to go to the top PRC20s. These are on Pulsechain. So this is our second category. Let's see which ones have been doing well. We had SHIB up 7.4%. I think SHIB's been making a bit of a move, hasn't it? I think we covered this yesterday. Yes, SHIB's been doing pretty well on the daily. Look at that. A nice little pump there, man. It got hyper pumped up here to 2,000 with 6 zeros in front of it. Now at 1,336 there. So a bit of volume coming in the old SHIB. So that is moving. What else is interesting? Wrap Bitcoin is $53. Going to be interesting to see how Wrap Bitcoin performs with the bull market, especially after the ETFs as well on Pulsechain. What else is there? Everything else is pretty much down. Yeah, everything else pretty much down in the top PRC20s. Let's go to our third category, which is meme coins. Everything is down on this as well. Obviously followed Pulsechain and Bitcoin and Ethereum down. Let's find our final category, which is Pulsechain projects. We're going to sort by the yield. We've got weight token there, so that's from Power City. That is up 7%, so that's not too bad. What else there? Weight. Yeah, I think that's weight. No, what is weight? Sorry, that's Coast, isn't it? Coast there. Sorry, my bad. What token is the Power City one? So Coast is actually up about 7%. Communist there as well is up 5% as well. Those are really the standouts today. Not much else happening there. Now, the other thing, of course, is we have 9-inch. Let's quickly look at 9-inch. I want to see where that is at the moment. That has really been hit pretty. Oh, that's been hit pretty hard, folks. Oh my gosh, that's just yeah, not a great looking chart there from 9-inch. Oh my gosh, down at all-time lows, 7,600 with 5 zeros in front of it. Wow. Of course, probably still holding on to our 5th biggest TVL on Pulsechain, but man, the market has really priced it down. That's pretty much it on there. What else are we going to look at? I think that's it. Let's go to the stable coins finally, just to wrap things up. Stable coins, everything's pretty stable. Let's have a look here. USDL at $1. Well done. Coast there is, where's Coast? Coast is at 98 cents, so slightly below peg. That seems to be a bit of a running theme at the moment. Most of the liquidity is sitting on PX, but the small amount of liquidity on PulseX is 65K. So definitely use Patias for routing because that will route you through the best volumes on the DEXs for using Patias there, PulseX and PX. PUSD, of course, we're going to talk about that. That's pretty much around peg $1 as well. That's currently very centralized, but running the full DeFi pegging there for PUSD DAI. That's going to end up being PUSD USDL, of course. So it's going to be pegged to this one here. We'll talk about that a bit later. So that's pretty much it around the main groups. We're going to get to hex.com before we do. Let's see who else has jumped in here. Sandy Beach went shopping today. Hope you got yourself some nice outfits there or something else. Brennan says wallet FE was buying bulk on Pulsechain yesterday. Yeah, and that wallet has other wallets that have been buying on other times, large sums of money. And so it's going to be interesting to watch that wallet there with some of its strategy. So good highlight there, Brennan. So much hype for that one too, says Sandy Beach. Nice. All right, hex.com. Let's get into it, folks. If you haven't got Hex, get Hex, burn it for T-shares and start mining Hex today on either Ethereum or Pulsechain. And of course, let's get into it. The link's in the video description. So I think we might have the results out. Yeah, we may do. Sometimes I'm a bit early. Yeah, Ethereum's not out yet. So we're looking for day 49.93. That's not out there. But Pulsechain is out. So we'll cover Pulsechain, which is day 230. What did I say? 235? Was it? 236? What did I say? 236, I think it was. 3rd of January. And we got the price there at 85 of a penny, down 5%. So we have had a few down days. Which so look here. The pay up per T-share looking spectacular. 7.7 hex per T-share. Of course, 3 days ago we had 9.8, which was just remarkable payouts. The share rate is up pretty big today, 81 hex per T-share at 31,359. Basically, earlier pays better. Basically, today is better than tomorrow. The average mine length there 6.86 years, and the APY there for existing T-share miners is 43%. Pretty awesome, right? But 3 days ago it was up at 55%, which is pretty amazing. Let's have a look at the ownership pool. The ownership pool for T-shares, there's 4,083 increase in T-shares, where total pool has got 9,712 T-shares. So these are the miners, basically. Think of a T-share like a miner. T-share stands for trillions of shares, and that is the pool there. But it used to be way up high. It used to be up, like at least on Ethereum, it was up at 11.2 million. So we're down here at 9.7 million at the moment. So, man, you're pretty lucky to have T-shares these days. But, of course, the price of Hex is really nice and low before the bull market, and so maybe once we get a market maker for Hex, then you know getting T-shares now is kind of like a dream, and it's been such an extended opportunity since the bear market. We've got 9.73% of all Hexes locked at the moment. Massive 20 million in penalties. You got to remember when we get a lot of these penalties, these are people often, if they're early in-stake or something like that, then they're out of the pool, right? They're out of the pool, and you get the benefit of their penalties. 50% of the penalties you get the benefit of. It goes into the reward pool. And of course, that's a bullish. And of course, 3 days ago, 16 million as well. So yeah, people, you know, there's a trade-off between early in-staking and other penalties that people get. So just remember that people capitulate, and that's what happens there. Now, liquid holdings up 39 in the current holders and down 17 on the miners. We've got 124,493 miners there on the old Pulsechain. Now, we don't have Ethereum numbers out today, but they'll probably be out, you know, in 20 minutes or so. but we're basically on day 1494 for Ethereum, and day was it 237? I think I said it was. Let me double check because I don't like to be wrong about those things. Yeah, day 237 we'll be starting as well. So kind of cool. Hex.com, check it out. If you've got any questions, jump in our Discord. We do have a crypto helpline, which is pretty exclusive to our Discord. And of course, a lot of the moderators and community members help out with answering questions. And we've got a private Discord, so it tries to keep it a much safer place than an open public Discord, which we used to have. We've converted it into a private one there. All right, pretty cool. Now, talking about Hex still. Staker app, man, big news. Obviously, Staker app was pretty much the go-to app for Hex staking other than go.hex.com. And yeah, it's been an amazing adventure, says Staker app, but we're in the process of shutting down the Staker company and mobile app. In a few days, the app will be replaced by a user-friendly web interface. So if you are worried about how you're going to get access to your smart contract Hex stakes, well, there's going to be a solution for that. A user-friendly web interface is going to be set up so you can interact with it. Alternatively, of course, you could interact, I guess, with the blockchain. That's where your stakes are, so that users can end their stakes, hopefully when matured, and send their tokens to any other account. So if you want to move it on, you can do that. Remember, your funds will never, your funds were never in the app, but on the blockchain. So very important to remember. They are safely accounted for on the Ethereum and Pulse chains. It has been a pleasure to serve 150,000 plus users over the past 3 years. We're glad to see that the Hex, Pulse, and community has grown tremendously, and that many superior solutions are now available for managing your crypto day to day. Now, we're going to talk about a couple of these superior solutions. So hold on for your hat there, your Top Gun hat. That is pretty much it. Oh, I just realized that I'm not sharing my screen. That's not cool. Sorry about that. Just realized, how did I do that? Bam. All right. So there we are. No, did anyone tell me? No charts, said Sandy. Yeah, sorry about that. Not showing screen. All right. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So we're showing the screen now. Anyway, so this is the news here from Staker app. Hopefully my audio version of the Hex Daily Stats was okay. You guys got through that. But superior solutions are now available for managing your crypto day to day. The new web interface will be accessible in the next 15 for the next 15 years. No one is left behind, they say. So fingers crossed for that. What we accomplished, they say, launch remote, first company during pandemic with members from different continents. 150,000 app downloads of iOS and Android, 4.6 average rating on the iOS Android store, created 25,000 safe smart accounts, 290 million total value transactions. It's pretty good. 500 million Hex stake with an average of 7 years, so some pretty big numbers. Where we fell short, we didn't have time to put in place the multi-signature UI for advanced users to protect their safe smart accounts. Such UI is non-trivial to get right since it required multi-party interactions. We didn't properly structure the onboarding program and could not deliver on our promise, and that is true. So I think I had quite a few referral accounts there. Never got paid any of the referrals from the account. I didn't have a lot of them, but nevertheless, still didn't get paid. On-chain referrals could have been prioritized earlier. Team members have invested tens of thousands of hours of work and 6 figures of their own money to add value to the community without any fundraise. We've been rewarded with a very large support during this year's. Thank you. Some of us are now taking a break or moving on to the new ventures. Stake wisely, never share your secret phrase there. Now, obviously, stay tuned for the launch of Staker Web in the next few days for those that use Staker app. And of course, they have posted an update about that too. This was posted about 2 hours ago, I think it was. 2 hours? Yeah, 21 hours ago, I should say. Staker Web is being tested and will soon replace the mobile app. Main features will include token price tracker, portfolio tracker, up to 50 accounts across ETH and Pulse, sending ERC20s and PRC20s in stake or good accounting for Hex, claiming Hedron as well, which is important, and installable as progressive web app mobile desktop there. So that looks like the couple of the images from the website there that's going to be in play. So there we go. That is coming for a solution there, which apparently is going to be around for a while. So kind of cool. I'll leave a link to Staker app if you want to follow up on that. Bam, there we go. There we go. That is the link to Staker app. If you want to find out more news, if you have been using Staker app for Hex stakes, that's definitely something you want to check out there as well. Yes, Hex token, it was spot on for the Hex token stats, or for the daily stats. Oh, thanks very much. Hopefully that was well animated. What else we got going there? We got JPon, good for the audio. Blair says, hi all, good to see you, Blair. Welcome to chat as well. That is the Discord if you want to join Discord. Appreciate that, Brian. What else we got going? Yeah, it's all on the blockchain, not on Staker app this as well. If you want to join Strategy Club, of course, in Discord, that's multi-chain. You can join up to that as well. So kind of cool. We got the general membership and Strategy Club membership. All right, so that's kind of cool from Staker app. Let's jump on into some of the solutions that you could use. Well, Hex Scout, of course, you could use Hex Scout. We've talked about this in our Discord. I'm going to do a video on this on these channels and do a walkthrough. But at the moment, this is what you can do on this. And this has a full portfolio. It has market portfolio, credit cards, swaps, stakes, ladders, news, everything. It's got everything. It's all in one for X. A really, really cool site. And I think they have mobile apps coming out soon. So at the moment, it's on desktop with Chrome or something like that. But definitely worth checking out. That is one of the probably the best option out there now, Hex Scout Pro. Now, another good one, of course, is a tried and true one. That's Alex McFertis. That is app.acosa.pro. And, of course, you can use the Hex there for staking, claiming your Hedron, and, of course, in staking and things like that. All good accounting. You do good accounting on there. Yeah, so that's your options at the moment on those for Hex if you want to use those two. This was some of many. Now, we obviously have a list of all these in our useful links in the Discord, so you can find all the links there as well. And we have moderators will help you also if you have any questions. We've got a help desk, of course, which is pretty cool. All right, so that's kind of cool. Now, if you guys, we've talked about Coast, we've talked about Liquid Lines, we've talked about Pulsechain, 3 native stablecoins to Pulsechain. And, of course, we already know that USD Alpha and Liquid Lines is #1 numero already, and Pulsechain is coming pretty shortly. We've also got our 4th stablecoin, which is going to be different from those, not a fiat-backed one, not a liquidity fork, collateralizing Pulse or Pulsex, but a algorithmic stablecoin, more like Terra Luna, but hopefully done correctly. Instead of having humans involved and some faulty mechanisms, it's going to be full DeFi botted robots. And, of course, we all like the future of robots. Of course, AI will take over the world and end up in a Terminator movie. But anyway, moving along, we will have a stability miner operating automatically, full DeFi. And that's what Pulsechain is all about, innovation, pushing the frontier of DeFi, leading DeFi. And, of course, this is going to be fun to see. Now, it's probably a bit more speculative than some projects, but definitely looking good at the moment. Now, one caveat, of course, is that it will depend on the total capital raise for the sacrifice. And, of course, not all sacrifices are created equal. In this case, this is the way sacrifices should be done. 75% of the funds raised will be going straight into the protocol day one. 50% will be going into the liquidity pools. They need to be setting up about 4 or 5 liquidity pools. And, of course, 25% will be going into the stability mine itself for supporting the actual stablecoin PUSD. So it's pretty cool. There's going to be 4 tokens in the system, and that's going to help a lot with making everything work. There's going to be PUSD, the stablecoin, Algo, the main coin, and of course there's going to be Wrap PUSD, the reward token for PUSD, and of course Flex, which is a user token for using the platform. You get rewarded for everything you do, and I like that. That's a really, really cool approach. We've seen a couple other teams use that approach, like 9mm and others as well. I think it's a really, really cool move. The other thing, of course, is it's ticking away. We're on day 40 with 5 days left of the official sacrifice process. At the moment, of course, you can get a 90% referral bonus using the link in the video description. And if you do over $1,000, inclusive of the referral bonus, then you'll be able to get access to the bonus X. And we're in the 3rd phase of the bonus X between 1.01 and 2X. That's your random bonus. You'll get a random bonus once you hit over $1,000, inclusive of the referral bonus. And you'll get another bonus, which is pretty a major one, really, and pretty powerful. So you can see this person here used a 1.19% referral bonus. They put them up at $10,961. They ended up qualifying, of course, being over $1,000 for a random bonus X. That is a second bonus. And, of course, they got distributed something between, I guess, I don't know when they did it, but basically between these random ranges, depending on when they did it. And that ended up getting them $17,756. For every dollar that you get 20 Algo, 200 Flex, and 0.01 wrapped Pulse, a PUSD stablecoin. And, of course, that is what got them these totals here. So they ended up with 355,000 Algo, 3.5 million Flex, and 177 wrap PUSD for their troubles, for their sacrifice. So pretty cool. And, of course, like I say, not all sacrifices are created equal. In this case, it's going to be amazing because 75% is going straight back in the protocol day one. You're not going to be wondering where the money went. Where's the money all gone? Has it gone to pumping the price or anything like that? Well, it's going straight into the mechanisms for full DeFi, which is pretty cool. So definitely a nice, cool opportunity. Now, the total amount of coins are, of course, at the bottom right hand We can see that there's 12.3 million algo at the moment, 6,165 rep per USD, and there'll be 123 million flex tokens at the stage. And of course, you'll be able to earn all across the protocol. On the earn protocol there, you'll be able to earn that with flex. The staking there, you'll be able to stake algo and PUSD and earn some pretty modest good returns as well, and much more. So, and also the stability miner, you'll be able to provide liquidity and earn that. And that's just potentially going to be lots of liquidity pairs. Going to be pretty bullish. Some of the other cool things, of course, is that big utility protocols on Pulsechain have been pretty interested, like PHUX and Proteus. They're all pretty interested on what's this going to be doing, because it solves two big issues, right? Scalability on Pulsechain, and of course potentially huge TVL, just like Terra Luna did. But it has a better mechanism. It has full automation and stability miners, limit orders, and all that good stuff. And it's going to be pretty amazing to be able to scale at TVL and potentially attract some big players. So it's going to be fun to see. All right, so that is pretty much it. That sacrifice is open. 5 days left to go. Links in the video description. Get that 9% referral bonus. Now, we're going to wait for more information from Jacob about where this is heading, plus, of course, all of his other protocols, PulsePot and TYCZ. And of course, TRHV4, waiting for the news about that. So as soon as we get that, we'll have it out on this channel. Looking pretty good. Finally, just to wrap it up, if you haven't joined our Discord, we've got Discord membership, $5 a month. That's 16 cents a day. It is a private Discord now. We've moved from public to private, but you get access to all the information, Pulsechain community, of course, 1,250 members with perks, of course, potential perks. Up to 7 chat groups. We've got 6 at the moment, including Crypto Helpline. We've also got 3 audio chats, which are pretty busy. A lot of people get in there to discuss strategy and projects and best value. Really a cool place. And of course, we got the ultimate Pulsechain information, most comprehensive Pulsechain information and useful links, everything you could imagine on Pulsechain projects, and of course, on-chain utilities to Pulsechain, like on-ramps, off-ramps, and things like that. So definitely get in there, folks. And of course, if you like to talk about strategy on multi-chain, we've got Strategy Room. It is a private club. And of course, you get to participate in some of the best protocols on all chains. And of course, we are crushing it on there at the moment. We're really doing a great job. And that's $35 a month. So that's sort of a premium membership there, a membership club. But if you just want to join the Pulsechain Hex Discord, $5 a month, 16 cents a day. Pretty good value. All right, let us see how we're going. We got Marco and Marcelo. Do you think this was BTC ETF FUD? I'm not sure what you're referring to there, Marco. Definitely, it looks like the markets were moving back down on the Fed news, Fed minutes. ETF equals sell the news. Yeah, a lot of people are thinking that, KDB. So that is definitely probably a lot of people I've seen talking about buy the rumor, sell the news. It'll be interesting if this is a time when that doesn't happen. That would really depend on the institutions. But at this stage, I think the market's probably expecting buy the rumor, sell the news. We've still got 6 days to go, right? So we'll see how we get on there. Maybe even only 4 days if it comes out earlier on the 8th of January. We'll see. Thank you, Hex Token says Sandy Beach. Hey, you're most welcome. Hope you guys have enjoyed it today. Now, have I played everything? I've still got some stuff here. Have I played all my videos? I've still got some videos. I'm not sure what this one is. That's it. All right. Take care, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Catch you on the next one. And don't forget to check out the PUSD algo. Definitely something to think about. Take care and bye for now. Woohoo. Peace out. See you tomorrow.